welcome to my channel. Today I am about to share with you guys how I transform all these $2 clothes into two-piece set. Now for the first one, I have this white leggings made of woven fabric, and I ain't wearing these woven leggings this summer anyway, so let's transform this piece. First, I'm marking 13 inches from the top as that's the length I want for my shorts. Now you can go shorter or longer according to what you want, of course, and then I am cutting it out. Now folding the piece in half just to make sure it's the same on both the side and it's symmetrical, and trimming it off. Next, I'm flipping the shorts the wrong side out and folding near the edges about 2 centimeters and adding pins so I can secure the folds all around and hem it to get rid of the edges. Now once I have pinned all around, I'm going to sew it using a straight stitch. Now I know I always say zigzag stitch is what you should go for when it's stretchy fabric, but here the fabric is woven and it's gonna look really bad from the front when you can see the zigzag stitch, so I decided to go with straight stitch. Now make sure you don't pull the fabric while sewing, as it can create lattice hem edges that we don't want it here. And once you have hemmed the edges all around, your shorts should be ready. Very easy, I know, right? Now moving on to the rest of the pieces. First, I'm going to get rid of the hemlines, or the bands, I should say. So the top and the bottom looks the same. And then I'm cutting the pieces in half. And then I have 4 leg pieces, which I'm also going to cut out on one side near the seam line so that they are one long piece each without the folds. Next, I'm going to get rid of one of the piece, as I only need 3 of them, and pin the side edges together to join all the 3 pieces. Now here, if you need more than 3, you can always go ahead and use it. The best way to find out is to measure around your bust area, and that way you will know how long you need the piece. Now once I have them all pinned, I'm going to sew it all the edges together until it turns out into a tube top. Next, I'm also going to hem the top and bottom folding twice, taking about 1 centimeter or 2 and sewing it using straight stitch all around. Lastly, I decided to add some elastic straps to the top. Now before you ask, I got this from eBay. I will link the shop down below in my description so that you can get your hands on them. So I'm taking about 14 inches for each side, as I need 2 of them. And taking the top, I'm marking 4 inches from the seam line, both sides, back and front, as I always do. And I'm going to sew the edges of the elastic a few times back and forth to make sure they are secure. And once you're done adding all the 4 edges of the straps, your two-piece set for this summer from leggings is officially done. This one looks so cute. I mean, look at the before. I would not wear it a single time, while the after, I can wear it to work out in the morning, to the tennis court, or even to buy some groceries. And by the way, I am also left with 2 cute hair ties. So much stuff for $2. moving on to the next one, it's almost same like the previous one, just a little different at the end. I know I don't want to bore you guys, so I will fast forward the video, but I'm going to share with you guys some tips and tricks that I didn't share with you guys before, so keep on watching. So first, I'm going to mark 14 inches on one leg, and drawing a straight line, I'm going to trim it off. Now about the length of the shorts, of course you need to check how long you want them, but also at the same time, don't forget to measure the length for your top. As for the white one, it wasn't too long, so I kind of had to divide and think about the top, but here I will be left with enough fabric even after taking 14 inches for the short, so you will need to figure out the measurements before you go ahead and chop it off. Now once I have the shorts cut out, I'm going to fold the raw edges twice just like we did before, and then I'm going to use a straight stitch to hem all the edges. Now a lot of you guys ask me what sewing machine I use and that you are not able to sew stretchy material. Now let me tell you guys, it's not the machine that you need to change, but the needle. You need to change your regular needle to a stretch needle or a ballpoint needle. So visit your local sewing or craft store and tell them the purpose plus your machine model, and they can find you the right one. Now moving on to the leg pieces, I don't know how one ended up longer than the other. Maybe it was a defective piece, so they sold it for like $2. Anyways, I marked about 9.5 inches and then trimmed it off. I also cut out more, tracing the first piece. Next, I'm going to cut out the pieces on one side near the seam line so that they can be matched together for a tube top. Pinned all the edges together and going to sew it using a straight stitch until it turns out into a tube top. And also don't forget to hem the top and bottom edges. Lastly, I'm cutting out small pieces for the strap as I don't have any grid elastic right now. I'm going to make straps out of the leftover pieces. So first, I'm trimming off the seam line so that there are one long piece each. Taking the straps one by one, I'm trying to stretch it as much as possible to give that finishing look without sewing. And I'm marking about 4 inches from the side seam line on both the sides of the top and going to sew 2 straps together on each side. As I always do, I'm sewing back and forth a few times to make sure they are secure, and going to do the same to all the other strap edges. And not to forget, we have left with green bands that we can use as a hair tie. Now moving on, I also bought this long sleeve t-shirt from the thrift store. It was also in the $2 rack, and I thought it would be perfect for a matching 2-piece set. So I marked about 6 inches from the bottom of the armhole and drawing a straight line so I can trim it off. Next, I'm going to use the top to trace the template. So I'm matching the shoulder and the sleeves together on one side and drawing the bust area along with the sleeves, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. Now for the rest of the sleeves, I decided to connect the lines to the corner edges of the sleeves, like drawing a straight diagonal line and then trimming off the excess. Next, I folded the piece in half so I can trace before I trim it off and make sure it's symmetrical on both sides. Next, I'm adding pins near the edges and going to sew them using straight stitch. Now once I have the top ready, I decided to add this elastic band with some leather on it, and I got this from AliExpress. Again, I will add the link down below so you don't have to worry. To know how long I need the elastic, I measured it with the top matching the bottom twice, as it's for both back and forth. And then of course I'm cutting it off, and I'm going to sew the raw edges of the elastic together using zigzag stitch. And then to add the elastic to the top, I'm matching the seam lines of both the elastic and the top, keeping both wrong side up and sewing it all around using straight stitch. Now moving on to the rest of the piece, I'm going to use one of my dress as I don't own any skirt right now. If you have a skirt, definitely go ahead with a skirt as it's going to be way easier. So I'm placing it near one edge and trimming off the excess. Next I'm marking 16 inches on the other side so I know where to exactly fold the piece, and then I'm tracing the shape and trimming off the excess. Next, I'm going to sew both the side edges using straight stitch. Lastly, to add the elastic to the waist, I measured the elastic all around the waist. Sorry, I didn't realize it was out of frame here. So basically, I took a little less than the actual measurement for the waist, about 2 inches less, so that it actually stretch when I wear it. Now to sew the elastic, I'm placing both the skirt and the elastic wrong side up, and folding the edges of the skirt, I'm placing it right in the middle and sewing it all around using straight stitch. Also, don't forget to stretch only the elastic and not the skirt while doing this, as it's lesser than the actual waist measurement. And after you're done doing all of these, your two-piece matching set should be ready. Please don't forget to comment down below which one was your favorite. You guys always comment you are a beginner and just starting with sewing, so I thought this video will be perfect. All the sewings are straightforward, very quick and easy. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it inspires me to make more. And I will see you guys next time with a new video. Bye guys!